Didn't see you there. I want to welcome you guys to a new series that we're going to start here during our quarantine. It's called Teeing Off with Tom. It's going to be a series of lessons that's going to utilize the time that we're spending indoors to prepare ourselves as best we can for when we return to the outdoors and we're on the greens. You guys ready to get started? Come on. So the first lesson of our series is really going to be talking about balance and alignment. These are two critical points that are going to set the stage for our golf game, hopefully for the months to come. Now my lace is lost inside of my shoe. And there it is. We all encounter difficulties out on the course, and sometimes we need to just take a good hard look and try to find the solutions. So, alignment and balance. That's going to be lesson number 1. You guys ready? Let's go tee off. Hey guys, as I mentioned, the focus of this first lesson is going to be balance and alignment. Okay, I would argue that balance is the most important thing. We can forget about everything else. If we don't understand how balance is going to affect our swing, all the rest of it is moot. So, over at Victory Links, we have these pieces of foam. Okay, what this is simulating is that when we're swinging a golf club, at no point do we want our body to move towards the ball, away from the ball, side, or to the other side. Okay, so if we imagine, let's imagine we're walking on a tightrope. Okay, instinctively our arms are going to extend, right, to make sure that we keep our balance. Now when we swing a golf club, we don't have the opportunity to do that, right? Both of our hands and our arms are connected to this club. So if we're swinging a golf club, right, and at any moment we are moving our body forwards or backwards or side to side, our brain, our subconscious part of our brain on some level is taking control of our arms, right, to make sure that we don't fall over. Okay, the instinct that we have to do that far exceeds any conscious thought that we have about delivering this club to the ball. Okay, so it's very important that we understand that if we don't maintain our balance, we can't be in control of anything else that's to come afterwards. Okay, so at Victory Links, we use one of these pieces of foam. Okay, this helps us find a spot, right, where we're not leaning towards the ball, we're not leaning away from the ball. We want to be in a position where we feel like I could stand here for 2 to 14 days, okay, without stopping. Ideally, I want to feel like when I'm standing in this position, I could fall asleep right here. Okay, now some of you might not have one of these pieces of foam, and that's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to set yourself up and you're going to simulate that. Okay, so I want you to slowly rock onto the balls of your feet, back onto your heels, balls of your feet, and then slowly do that just a little bit less and less. Okay, so ideally what we want to find is a position where we feel like we're so relaxed that we can stand here for 17 to 48 days. So after we find this position where we feel like none of our weight is moving towards the ball, none of it is moving away from the ball or side to side, not only is that so critical because that affects whether we're in control of our arms or not, which our arms connect to the club, which hits the ball, right? We're not in control of any of those things if we're not in control of our balance, but also that eliminates our ability to use the strongest muscles of our body. Okay, so as a simulation, let's imagine that my legs, my torso, my hips, strongest muscles of my body are represented by the shaft of this club. Okay, the club head right here is represented by my arms. If I want my arms to move really, really fast, if I use the strong muscles of my body first and send energy into my arms, I can get my arms to move really, really fast, right? You can see that happening here. If I want my arms to move separately and create a bunch of speed, notice I'm not getting any sort of the results that I'm looking for, okay? So if we're in this position, right, our hips are going to pivot around our ball and socket joint, that is our ankle, right? If I move my body towards the ball, which is instinctual from all of us, from all the other sports we play, right? We've all heard of the ready position, right? We get in the ready position, the weight is on the balls of our feet, our legs are starting to fire because we are instinctively getting ready to do what? We're getting ready to move, right? When we're playing soccer, when we're playing basketball, we need to be in this position because we need to react to things moving, right? Ball moving, players moving, offense, defense, okay? But when we're swinging a club and we're hitting a golf ball, that golf ball is not going to move. So we want to find a position that's contrary to all those positions that we've learned in most of those sports, right? I'm going to take this position of getting ready to move and find a position where I feel like I could fall asleep standing up, okay? And that's going to be way closer to a position where our weight is over our ankles so that we can utilize the strong muscles of our body, right? This is where we're going to get our energy. This is where we're going to get our power from. Last thing is that when we talk about balance and we talk about alignment, right? When we play golf on a big expanse with not a lot of reference points, okay? One of the benefits that we can have when we're spending time at home working on our game, preparing us to go out on the golf course, is using reference points. So I'm going to use my garage here as one of my reference points. So when I get myself set up, let's imagine that my ball is sitting right here at the base of the garage and my target is on a straight line down my garage to infinity, to about 350 where I generally hit the ball, okay? So when I get myself set up and I have this reference point, it's very difficult, or it's going to be more obvious to me as to where my body's positioned relative to this reference point. So if you notice, if I stand up here, which some of us will stand a little bit open, right? If you notice here, when I have this reference point, you can see my shoulders, my hips, my knees are all open or pointed to the left relative to my target line, okay? So it's important that we take time to set our body up to reference points so we can start seeing, okay, I'm a little bit open or pointed to the left where I want to send the ball, or I'm a little bit closed or pointed to the right where I want to send the ball, okay? So take advantage of using reference points because this is going to set up our starting position, right? Balance, alignment is so key because if we don't set these things right, this is the foundation of our house, okay? Anything else that we add to the top of the house doesn't matter if we don't have this base built up correctly. Now, these lessons are going to be important whether you're 5 years old or 65. These are the fundamentals that are going to make you a better golfer now and forever. I hear my jet pulling in, so I'm going to take off, but see you next time. Hope to see you at Victory Link soon.